World Health Organization has put out there, or any of these private universities and medical centers have put out there, across the entire world, is that by wearing masks, you're actually increasing your risk of respiratory illness. You are increasing your risk of bacterial infections in your mouth and in your gums. You are increasing your risk of facial, issues or conditions on your face because of the bacteria building up from wearing the masks. You're increasing your risk of headache and, for some people, stroke and other symptoms because you're reducing the amount of oxygen that you're breathing in all day long. Not to mention that the CDC alone has pointed out that those who are seeing, in areas where we're seeing these bigger upticks in COVID-19, it's mostly, vast majority of these cases are being seen in populations where the individuals are always or almost always wearing a mask when they're in public. Whereas if you look at the individuals who are never wearing a mask when they are in public, that percentage of people who are getting COVID-19 now is this big, because that is not how our bodies are designed to function. That's not even considering any of the religious freedom arguments or anything of that nature. So there's, and it is a discrimination thing. So let's think about it this way. So people who are callous, like attorneys or grassroots organizations that are out there claiming that it's totally legal for people to discriminate against individuals for not having a mask. What about someone in my condition who I not only have a medical reason for not wearing a mask, but I have a hearing condition. And not only can I not wear a mask, but those around me, because of my hearing condition, I read lips. So for me to be in a restaurant or in a, any other place of public accommodation, a Menard store or something like that, when I go in, I'm asking them very kindly if they could remove their mask so I can read their lips, so I can communicate with them. Because simply screaming at me often does not help, especially if it's a loud environment. So, and some men's voices I'm able to hear a little easier than others, but most women's voices, quite frankly, all women's voices, and most men's voices, and certainly children's voices, I typically cannot hear out of my deaf ear at all without lip reading. So individuals like me, I'm not unique in that regard. I'm just representative of a whole population of people that are out there that are hard of hearing. And for us to be totally cut off from participating in sales or services because of this disability, that's totally unacceptable. So to be able to say, well, sure, any business can totally discriminate. It's okay. It's their private property. That is not how we have envisioned living together in a society where we have come together to not have collective rights. We have individual liberties, but we want to ensure that our individual liberties are not trampled upon by others by merely coming together in society. So you need to take that off the table.